So I actually came to school, and the first person I met in college introduced me to the Pikes. And I came for their July 4th party, and it was just like, you know, I've had that click. So I really didn't even explore other fraternities. You know, I came in, young kid, whatever, naive about college. About 2 weeks into our summer B term, you know, I felt this, you know, excruciating pain in my collarbone. And then one day the pain was so bad that I actually went to the student, you know, clinic, and I said, hey, I've had this weird pain that's kind of been on and off. I thought I fractured my collarbone a couple months ago. They're like, all right, they give me a weird look and start checking it out. And yeah, so long story short, within that time span, you know, I was calling my parents back who had just dropped me off, like, hey, you gotta turn around. They think I might have cancer. And then I found out, you know, I was in my dorm, and my parents were like, hey, we're coming over, we gotta talk to you. And I said, sure. So my dad gets out of the car, my grandparents, my sister, and my mom stayed in the car. And that was weird. So my dad gets out, and I'm just thinking, wow, this is not gonna be good. So he comes, he pulls me under the tree, and he goes, hey, so we just got the results back, and it's good, it's good. I'm like, what do you mean it's good? He goes, it's the lymphoma thing. And I'm like, and I like forgot what lymphoma was. I just wasn't really, I was like, what's that? He goes, I'm like, the cancer? And he goes, yeah, but it's the good one. And then I get in the car, and everyone's crying, and I'm just like, guys, if I'm not crying, there's no reason you should be, because it was good news. You know, it wasn't the bad cancer, it was the good cancer. So I had a non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. Lymphoma is actually the most defeatable by statistic cancer, which is great. So I had the best of the worst. It's kind of the best way to phrase it. You know, they asked me if I wanted to go back down to Miami for treatment. I said, no, I'll stay here. I heard you guys have a great reputation. If I went down to Miami, that's me stopping life. You know, I wanted to go to the University of Florida. That was my goal. I was so happy that I, you know, got into my #1 school. And why am I gonna let a disease that, yes, it's serious, but why am I gonna let it defeat me as a human being? Optimism definitely plays a huge factor in my opinion. I think when you have a positive mindset, the body tends to react positively. I could be wrong, but that's just what I like to tell people. It's what I truly believe.
That's a great eye. All right, buddy. Thanks.
I was in my second round of treatment, if I remember correctly, and you know, I was with my mom and my grandparents, and you know, my mom went over to get some water from the nurses, and while she was walking by, she started kind of like peeking into the windows of the rooms and started noticing that of like the 10 rooms she looked into, I was the only one with my parents. And she just came back in tears like, you know, I can't believe we're the only ones here with our kid. And I was like, wow, that's pretty sad. But she started brainstorming, and she's like, I want to start a little philanthropy, a little foundation once you're done here. And I'm like, I'm in, let's do it. She's like, and let's call it Chomp Cancer. So this was her whole idea. It was like pretty small at first. My focus was more on getting healthy and living life than it really was worrying about a philanthropy right now. And obviously that changed big time. It's been great for me. So, you know, I know it's happened to me, I know what I've gone through, and I do keep it in the back of my mind, but I never dwell on it. I use it, I don't forget it. It's my comfort, it's my safe zone. You know, I go to the hospital to visit kids. You know, I don't forget what happened, but I don't let it bother me.